Welcome back to another episode of Braves Bullpen. Hello, everybody. I'm Ryan Siegel, joined alongside with Gardie Her. And Gardie, we got really fired up before the show, so we're going to try to keep that energy going here into the show today. But just talking about the Braves, probably a skid that we have not seen since we've started this show or since the beginnings of this show. The Braves have lost five in a row. They took one of four against the Nationals. They're currently winning today against Baltimore, but have lost that series, losing the first two and split with the Red Sox last week. So, Gardie, I mean, losing five in a row, coming back to reality in terms of the division. They're now 9 games back in the loss column of the Philadelphia Phillies. There's still somehow 5 games up in the wild card on the loss column. It just shows there really isn't a ton of parity in the National League this year. And Gardie,
Yeah.
I think we harp on it's always the pitching, the pitching, the pitching, the pitching, the pitching, because that seemed to have been the MO for the Braves of just bullpens not getting it done. But now we're turning the guns on the lineup.
Oh, 100%. It is full-fledged. I don't even care about the bullpen right now. Like they're holy crap, are we not hitting the ball? And this is, when you were like, okay, time for me to press record, because I was saying this before. So we just did the math. Okay, we've hit 66 home runs through 65 games. So we're on pace for 144 home runs hit this season. We hit 307 as a team last year. Now we're hitting 243 at the plate. We were hitting 276 as a team at the plate last year. So what you're telling me is we're losing about 150 home runs and 30 points on our batting. And so, as I said to you before show, and I got to stop saying that. I'm just going to pretend I say it live. It makes me look better. But it's like the quote from Moneyball. Like, we are not recreating the runs we're losing by losing the long ball, that 150 home runs, that by playing small ball or playing more traditional fundamental baseball. Because okay, so not only are we not hitting the ball far, we're just not even hitting it apparently. And you have guys like Austin Riley, who's hitting 45 points below his career average. Michael Harris is second, while a smaller sample size, because he's only I think this is his third full season in the league. He's still hitting 30 points below his career average. Like, and you can't it's not like you can fully put this blame on Ronald Acuna Jr. being hurt either, because oh wait, we already did this once when he tore an ACL and we went on and won a World Series. Granted, when that season was happening, going into August 1, which we're only at June 13th, they were 5 games below 500, or 3 games below 500, 5 games out of the first place spot in their division in the NL East. But still, you had other guys, and there's stuff we can talk about that Alex Anthopoulos did that season to, once again, recreate Ronald Acuna Jr. in the aggregate, or actually more specifically, just having that bat in his lineup. But like, this is the time where a guy like Matt Olson, who we paid a ton of money to be our franchise first baseman, needs to actually start hitting the long ball like he did for 50 freaking times last season.
Yeah, you couldn't have said that any better. I think just looking, in this 5 game losing streak, and we have stats back in the last 7 days. So since they beat the Nationals last Thursday, so this is in this losing streak. Marcell Ozuna is the only guy seemingly pounding the baseball with any type of, I guess, finesse. He is hitting 400. Matt Olson is hitting 389 in this past week. However, he is just not hitting the long ball. He is only hitting 286 in the past 2 weeks. He has hit one home run. Again, the team that we mentioned, right? 307 home runs, tying the 2019 Minnesota Twins. There were 3 home runs combined as a team last week. And we just keep talking about it with Ozuna hitting 400 and Olson hitting 389 in the last week. JP Martinez hitting 333. Those are the only 3 players in the last week hitting above 300.
And I think above 250.
Oh, and it's going to get worse. And JP Martinez has only played in 2 games. So take him out of the equation. Michael Harris is hitting 222. Travis d'Arnaud has been splitting with Sean Murphy. He's hitting 200. Jared Kelenic is hitting 182. Orlando Arcia is hitting 176. Austin Riley is hitting 158. Ozzy Albiaz is hitting 136. Sean Murphy is hitting an abysmal 0.63. And I get it. You can make the argument. He's still coming back from injury. Um, but he clearly has not found his bat at all. And it's just time and time again. Like we talked about it this with the pitching, right? We say, we can sit there and point fingers at the pitching. Last Friday, the Braves lost to the Nationals 2-1 with Chris Sale on the mound. He gave up 2 runs. Giving up 2 runs as a starting pitcher should still, with this lineup, give you a chance to win the game. That is the definition of keeping you in the game and just not getting it done.
And he went 7 innings too. It's not like oh hey he went 5 and we pulled him. No, he went for over 2/3 of the game. You only needed at that level. If you are going into the 8th inning with 2 runs for the opposing team, at least in modern day baseball, if you have a team that's supposed to be good, and track record shows they are good, you are thinking, and in the back of my mind, I'm hearing, oh, Chris Sale went 7 on the bump, 2 runs went. Okay, well, that means our boy's coming out of the bullpen in the 9th. Like, it shouldn't be like you don't win majority of baseball games by scoring 1-2 runs. It's not 1910 anymore. We've come a long way. And I'm happy Marcell Ozuna is bruising the baseball and not other things right now. I'm very happy about that. But at the same time, like, where is everything else? And okay, Max Fried had a bad start. Charlie Morton had a bad start. They're still looking for that back of the rotation kind of filler because you're not, you once again have to recreate Spencer Strider, who's at this season in the aggregate as well. And they've tried a couple rookie guys. There's the Rosen Esterbaum guy whose name I can never pronounce. Oh, there's Schwellenbeck and Waldrep. Sorry. And talk about drips on the mound too. They stunk. 3.2 innings for Waldrep, 7 earned runs. But okay, that's going to happen. You can't expect your starting pitching staff to be 100% of the time. If you look at batting averages, if you're hitting 300, you're still failing 70% of the time, but you're a Hall of Famer. So you can't have guys who are playing the majority of your at bats in key positions like your shortstop, your third baseman, your catcher, hitting below their weight.
Absolutely. And, we talked about it they really have found lightning in a bottle with their starting pitching the last few years. Bryce Elder seemingly had a fluke season, obviously has come back down to earth now that there's plenty of video on him, got optioned a few weeks back to AAA Gwinnett. But Gardie, we talked about it. Alex Anthopoulos recreating Ronald Acuna Jr. in the aggregate, recreating Spencer Strider in the aggregate. I know you did a little bit of a deeper dive on that 2021 team when Acuna went down with the knee injury, but just there are moves to be made before the deadline. And I get it. We sound like we're hitting the panic button. We're not there yet. However, the panic button has started. We've lifted the glass off the panic button, like Deal or No Deal style.
Oh, yeah.
It's now the glass is up and we're kind of just starting to look at the button. We're giving it the side eye of the button. But Gardie, we talked about this and obviously kind of take the people through that 2021, I guess, Acuna aggregate that helped get the Braves a World Series.
Yeah, they went out. Alex Anthopoulos went out and got 4 guys. He got Adam Duvall, who's still on the roster, and then 3 guys who aren't. Jock Peterson, Eddie Rosario, and Jorge Soler. And none of those guys actually, if you go back and look at their baseball reference or their MLB.com page, however you like to look at your stats, none of them are career studs. Jorge Soler is a one-time All-Star with like a career 261 batting average, if I remember correctly. But he had 3 homers and 6 RBIs in the World Series and was the World Series MVP. Eddie Rosario had 14 hits, including 3 home runs against the Dodgers in the NLCS and got himself the MVP. Jock Peterson had 2 clutch pinch hit home runs in the NLDS. Helped them win that series. And Adam Duvall just actually played really freaking good baseball. He hit 16 home runs with 45 RBIs and 55 games played after he got traded to the Braves. So it can happen, and that's why we use that aggregate word, because, as I said, none of those guys are studs, in any slight variation of the word. But they all did their job to recreate your reigning NL MVP. So that it's something that needs to happen again. And yeah, like if I'm going to use like the nuclear football codes, like you know how there's like 3 briefcases. I've definitely punched in the code on one of those 3. Other 2, one of them's maybe starting to get unlocked. Third one's still sitting in the closet. But we're definitely a third of the way there because we are 35-30 and have lost 6 in a row or 5 in a row, excuse me.
Yeah, and we're recording this today, June 13th. The Braves have a 4-3 lead on the Baltimore Orioles in the top of the 8th inning. So
since we've
they have
started recording in a
they have given up
episode.
Yes, they have given up 3 runs. But with that in mind, obviously, we were talking about how far are we from the panic button. Maybe after that stat line getting dropped, we might be a little bit closer to inching to it. But we are still a fan show, and we want to hear from you, whether at home, on the road, in Truist Park, or out of Truist Park.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you. Our Quickcrete, maybe that's the problem. Maybe Quickcrete needs to come off the jerseys. Maybe that's it.
I went on a 2-hour tangent on a phone call with someone last night about Quickcrete. They didn't ask for it. They didn't bring it up. That's how on the hunt I am. I was like, oh, wait, doesn't your dad shop at Lowe's? Has he ever bought fucking Quickcrete? Answer was no. They're from Texas.
And we are off our
across the country. There's nothing there.
We're going to go west to east and north to south just until we get an answer.
Yeah.
Until we get an answer, we are on the hunt. This is the one piece of journalism we're doing on this show. If we're doing any journalism of any kind, Quickcrete, we are on to you.
Oh yeah,
we are on to you.
Just cut in the 60 minutes little stopwatch. Click. Because that's how investigative I'm getting about Quickcrete. Who's buying it? I don't know. But with that, hopefully we can, maybe turn one of these next games into a win too, and one after that, and call it a winning streak. And hopefully then next time we're talking about 5 wins, not 5 losses next week. So with that, Rye, sign us off.
Thank you for watching this episode of Braves Bullpen. We'll see you next week.
Love you, Blippi.